Hi, it's Miss Johnson, and I'm here with today's Read Aloud. The story I have for you is called How Many Stars in the Sky? And the person that wrote the story, Lenny Hort, and the illustrator actually is a painter. He did all the paintings in the story. It's James E. Ransom. How many stars are in the sky? Have you ever looked for stars in the sky? Do you know how many stars are in the sky? Let's see if they can figure out how many stars are in the sky. How many stars in the sky? Mama was away that night and I couldn't sleep. Mama knows all about the sun and stars. But she was away and I didn't want to wake Daddy. So I stared out the window asking myself, how many stars are in the sky? I could count so many just from my room. I leaned out the window and I could count even more. That was just gazing over the backyard. How many stars in the sky? You can see the little boy here looking out his window. He's gazing or looking at the stars. And look, his dog is looking with him. I went outside with a pad and pencil. I started to count. I filled up one whole page of the pad. But there were lots of stars hidden behind the trees. The house blocked out even more. The street lamp was so bright I couldn't see all the stars anywhere near it. How many stars are in the sky? The little boy is trying to solve a problem right now. What's the problem he's trying to solve? That's right, he's trying to look for all the stars in the sky. I wonder if he's going to be able to figure it out. I climbed up high into my tree house. I stared at the Big Dipper and counted in a green circle all around the sky. I filled up page after page on the pad. But when I got back to the Dipper, it wasn't where I remembered it. I must have been out so long that the stars had moved. Old ones had set, new ones had risen. How many stars were in the sky? Sometimes when people look for stars, they look for a certain one. So for example, they'll look for something called the Big Dipper. It looks like a giant straw in the sky. He found that, but when he started looking for other stars, he got a little lost. So he's still trying to count all those stars. I climbed down from the treehouse and there was Daddy. I couldn't sleep, I said. I can't sleep either, he said. Your mama won't be back till tomorrow. I told him how I wanted to count all the stars in the sky. If your mama was here, Daddy said, I bet she'd know. Maybe you and I can find someplace, somewhere. It'll be easier to count them. Someone's helping the little boy right now solve his problem. Do you know who it is? That's right, his dad's trying to help him right now. The dog hopped in the truck with us and we drove into town. The streets were quiet, but lots of streetlights were burning. We could see the bright city skyline in the distance. I wonder where they're going. Daddy and I counted 25 or 26 stars. He said he thought one of them was planet Jupiter. This isn't a good place to see stars, I said. It's not a bad place to count them, though, he said, but it's still too hard. Let's go somewhere where it'll be really easy. I wonder where would be a good place to count stars. We drove into the city. The big clock by the tunnel said 2:45, but neither of us felt like sleeping. I wonder where they're going. We parked by Mama's office. There was a department store with brightly lit displays in every window. There were street lamps on every corner. There were dazzling neon signs. Headlights flashed from a steady stream of cars. Powerful searchlights beamed from the roofs of the skyscrapers. Does this look like a good place to see stars? I don't think so. Look at all these buildings. They're blocking all of the stars, and it's so bright. Kind of need it to be dark to see the stars, right? And I couldn't see any stars at all. I count exactly one, said Daddy. No, wait, he said. It's an airplane. Maybe the stars just don't want to be counted, I said. We drove back through the tunnel. I was tired and thought we were going home. But instead, Daddy drove me deep into the country. There weren't any cars. There weren't any streetlights. There weren't any houses. Even the moon had set. And I knew we could never count all the stars. Look at all those stars in the sky. It's dark. There are no streetlights, no tall buildings, no houses. They had plenty of darkness to see all the light from the stars in the sky. No matter where I looked, new ones appeared every time I blinked. Daddy pointed up above and showed me the Milky Way. The stars were so thick, I couldn't tell one from another. Look at all those stars in the sky. Do you think the little boy is happy right now? He seemed kind of sad in the beginning. He couldn't find all those stars. Do you think he's happy now? I think he's feeling pretty happy too. We were much too tired to drive anymore, so we slept underneath the stars that night. It was daylight when we woke. Daddy, I said, all those stars are always out there even when we can't see them, right? Of course they are, he said. Can we try to count them again sometime? I asked. Any night you feel like it, he said. You and me and Mama can all go out together. I could hardly wait to see Mama and tell her about it. In a little while, we'd all be back. But now, I was glad just to be standing there with Daddy, basking in the warmth of the one star we could see. Anybody know the one star that you can see at night? They say it's the brightest star of all of them. And that was the sun. The sun is actually a star, and it's the brightest star in the sky. So I'm going to challenge you. Maybe you can't count all the stars in the sky, but going out and seeing all the stars and laying either in your driveway or on the grass is definitely something fun you can do with someone you love. So, thanks for listening and have a great night.